try not to cry. That's just so awesome to have Curtis introduce me. He has been there at every stage of my career. I didn't know I was gonna cry, wow. But I'm so grateful to have this full circle moment with you tonight, Curtis, so thank you. Now, when I found out I was being named Journalist of the Year, I really didn't believe it. And for a second, I didn't even know that I deserved this. I am not your capital I investigative reporter, nor am I chasing national scoops or breaking headlines from the halls of power, but I am a community journalist, and I've come to realize that can be just as important. My work is about showing up consistently, telling stories in partnership with my community, and making sure all LGBTQ+ people see themselves reflected in the news. And I am so grateful to the Chicago Journalists Association for not just recognizing the important role that community-centered journalism plays right now, but for also recognizing how hard I have been working at it. Thank you. This past year has been one of the most transformative of my life, and it's so appropriate to celebrate that here with the Chicago Journalists Association, because it was actually this ceremony in 2023 that changed the trajectory of my career and made a moment like tonight possible. Yeah. So 2 years ago, back then, I was so close to actually leaving journalism. I was feeling burnt out and uninspired, but I had come to the CJA ceremony that year to support my colleagues who were nominated for awards. And there I ran into Tracy Bain. Many of you know Tracy as co-founder of Windy City Times and now executive director of Press Forward Chicago. She's also tonight's keynote speaker, who I will be interviewing after this. But Tracy and I got to catching up, and I remember signaling to her how I'd been feeling, how I wanted so badly to tell more LGBTQ+ stories, but I hadn't found the right fit for me in this industry yet. Fast forward a couple weeks, now I'm on a Zoom call with Tracy, and she's telling me all about her plans to revitalize Windy City Times by launching a series of newsletters and expanding its digital presence. And she invited me to be part of that. So I took a huge leap of faith. I left my full-time job to build something new. I followed my heart, and then finally, everything clicked. This past year, that leap of faith paid off, and Windy City Times is going through a renaissance. In just 1 year, we went from 0 newsletters to a full suite of 4, connecting with our readers through LGBTQ+ news and events, and by sharing the stories of Chicago's Black and Latino queer communities. We've also gotten to participate in several journalism cohorts that have helped me grow as a newsroom leader. Among them was Medill's Local News Accelerator, which supported the rapid growth of our newsletters. And then there was the Local Media Association's Lab for Journalism Funding, where I actually won my first grant as a newsroom leader. I've also spent the last year building partnerships with other queer outlets around the country, starting in Chicago with E3 Radio, then branching into Minneapolis with The Gailey Show, and Ohio with The Buckeye Flame. And through it all, I have doubled down on providing in-depth, nuanced coverage that Chicago's LGBTQ+ community deserves. I have been on the ground covering how transgender people are losing access to life-saving healthcare. I've sat through hours-long meetings at the mayor's office about the much-delayed LGBTQ+ affairs director position promised by the mayor. And I've covered the joy, too, like when we raised a bisexual pride flag over Logan Square this year, or when we all came together for the Chicago Pride Parade. And I say we because I view myself as a partner in these efforts, and that's what's made me an effective journalist. When it comes to queer news, I'm not parachuting in for a quick quote or to chase a headline. I make sure I'm there every day, listening and learning, so that I can better serve my community. And I'm really lucky because I'm not doing this work alone. Chicago has an incredible community of queer journalists providing thoughtful coverage in newsrooms all over the city. I have the privilege of building that sense of community through the Association of LGBTQ+ Journalists. Our Chicago chapter has gone through its own renaissance this year, and it is the most active it has been in decades. Just last night, we hosted our biggest mixer yet, bringing together more than 40 LGBTQ+ journalists and allies from across the industry. We are having, thank you, yeah. It's a lot of fun, so please consider this your invitation to our next gathering. Which brings me to my advice. Strengthen your ties with LGBTQ+ journalists. Water the queer reporters in your newsrooms and trust them to lead coverage of their communities, because this moment demands it. LGBTQ+ people are facing rollbacks in rights that many of us thought were firmly secured. Our federal government is villainizing queer and trans people to score cheap political points. And institutions that have long been allies are backtracking on their support right now. But our queer stories can change the narrative and counter misinformation. LGBTQ+ journalism matters now more than ever, and it's more than a niche beat or a Pride Month assignment. It is year-round, and it affects your friends, your family, your neighbors, your coworkers, your readers, viewers, listeners, everybody. So even if you don't consider yourself queer or part of the queer press, just know that you are part of this story and play a role in how it's told. So if you're wondering what you can do, I have a few recommendations. The first is connect with NLGJA and the Trans Journalists Association. We have resource guides and trainings that can improve coverage in your newsrooms. 2, be intentional about including queer voices in your stories, even when the topic isn't LGBTQ+ specific, and then especially when it is. And 3, invest in the next generation of queer journalists. Mentor them, hire them, and pay them fairly, because we really need them to stay. As I've outlined tonight, you are seeing a very different version of me than you would have seen just a short time ago. I've really undergone my own transformation, and it's so thanks to the incredible people who have taken a chance on me, starting with Tracy Bain, who believed in me so much that I remembered how to believe in myself again. Matt, Terry, Jean, Vivian, Lou, Anna Deshawn, and the rest of the Windy City Times team and its contributors, my mom and my family, my best friends, Brent and Carly, my incredible coach, Mackenzie Warren, who couldn't be here tonight, but actually helped me prepare for this speech. And I'd be remiss if I didn't thank Andrea Hannes. She was instrumental in the early success of our newsletters, and this recognition would not be possible without the knowledge, support, and kindness that she poured into me. I also want to thank my colleagues across TJA, AAJA, NABJ, NAHJ, the Chicago Headline Club, and of course, the Chicago Journalists Association. And to Chicago's broader LGBTQ+ community, this recognition is for each and every one of you. Every queer person who makes this city a better, braver, and more beautiful place. Every queer person who's an immigrant, with or without documents, because you too make this city stronger. And every queer person who came before us, who blazed the trail so a reporter like me can stand authentically on this stage and tell these stories today. This is such an incredible honor, and I am so grateful. This is just the beginning for me. Thank you.